we got another video on the OBS. We're going to be doing a super chip or Hydra chip install on this thing. You got my Hydra chip here. I got it tuned to my truck. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what's in here. All right, I got this chip from Full Force Diesel. This is the actual chip itself. They pretty much ask the parameters of what's in my truck and manual, automatic, what I have for injector, so on and so forth. And they go ahead and program this before they gave it to me. It took them like 5 minutes to do. Here's the programmer piece itself. It looks like they got their little Full Force logo on it. It's got your plug there in the bottom. Full Force Diesel card, business card. All right, looks like they gave us a brass brush to clean off contacts with. A huge piece of Scotch-Brite here to clean contacts as well. It's got the wires going from the chip into the Hydra system. And looks like a USB there for, and maybe to do a retune on this. I'm not 100% on that. We'll figure that out. And then the basic install instructions here. All right, our computer in this is right here. It slides into the cab of the truck. It's going to have a big wiring harness on it there. It's going to have a 10mm on it to take off the plug, and then you have a 10mm on the top and bottom. The easiest way to do this is to remove the inner fender or push it back enough to be able to get into it. So that's what we're going to do first. Well, first things first is what we're going to do is unhook the batteries, and then we'll go from there. I just don't want to have the batteries hooked up messing with the computer. All right, I've only taken a couple of them out here. That's all I need, because I'm going to push this inner fender over and pop it down so we can just have access right back here where the computer is. That'll give us enough room to get up there and get that computer. I might go ahead and just take out one more here and let it drop to give us plenty of room, but that should give us enough room for the computer. All right, there's the bottom of our computer. I don't know if you can see it very well, but right there, see that stud sticking out? That should be a 10mm. That's the bottom of the computer bracket. And then up here on top, we got another 10mm and a 10mm holding the whole plug assembly kind of just locks in there, and the 10mm holds it in. So we'll go ahead and take out those 10mm. First thing I'm gonna do is loosen up the 10mm bolt going into the wiring harness. That whole wire harness. It'll come out. I just gotta wheel and pop it. And there's the cover. And now everything's loose for the computer. And it'll come out like so. And now we're going to go down to the inner fender, pull that inner fender back, and take it out the bottom. All right, now that I've got it slid out, go ahead and push this inner fender back. And I ended up taking out 2 more of the screws up here so I could get it to flex enough. And there's our computer. So we're gonna go ahead and take it to the workbench we'll be working on this end right here. All right, we got the PCM out. I put it on a piece of cardboard. They said try not to do it on metal, something that can conduct electricity, static electricity. So we're gonna go ahead and get this cap out of here. 30 seconds. Take this lid off. And that'll allow the whole thing to come apart. Just remember where your top and bottom is. But that way you can get to it easier and clean. If you look how silver this is, don't believe a programmer's ever been on this computer. This is not the original for the truck. I had to put another computer in it. So basically is all we're gonna do. Take the copper brush and knock the grease off of it. And then we got this big old piece of Scotch Brite pad. We're just gonna rub it down until we see some copper. On this, don't use any kind of cleaner either. Don't use lacquer thinner, spray parts cleaner, carb cleaner, anything like that, because it could go through the board here and mess a lot of stuff up. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but it's got more copper. That's more of a silver. You can see more of the copper in that. Okay, now that we got the chip, they recommend putting your box back together before you install it so you don't install it upside down. With the box back together, it can only go one way. If you look here and you try to put it in like so, it will not go in that way, so it has to flip up and go in. So we'll go ahead and install it. Just pushes in, just like so, and now we got our wire. This has two wires on it. One is go to the programmer, and one is pretty much like a data link. This is your data link wire. You'll have a little yellow tab right here. The data link wire will go into the side of that. And then you have your main wire going to the adjustment. There's our programmer wire. That'll hook into the top, right across the top here. Just like so. And your data wire for to change your tunes later on if you want to change your tunes easy. To hook up to it, we'll go here on the side. So it's kind of basically what it'll look like once you get everything hooked into it. Once that's done, go ahead and put your front cover or your top cover back on. All right, this part's easier if you got two people because you can feed these wires through the other side and someone else can be grabbing them for you. In my case, I don't, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of feed, a little bit of push, a little bit of feed, so on and so forth. So with everything back together, let's go ahead and get this back in the truck. To get these wires, I'm going to have to come from the top. I just tape the ends together, just kind of real lightly, so I can put both the ends through at the same time and then be able to pull the whole thing through. All right, there's our wires right there. They're kind of a pain to get to, but they're in behind this big brake assembly here. So I've got them started in here, so we're gonna go back out and continue to push it through. All right, now we're gonna put the wires, we're gonna run through the fuse box here, and I'm just gonna end up putting my tuner right here for now, just some double-sided tape just to make sure everything's good. So we'll go ahead and run all these wires through. All right, I've got the wire coming out right here in my dash, and that's where we're going to hook the tuner to. I've got the wire hooked into it and a piece of double-sided tape on it. I'm just going to stick it up here for now. Just I might move it later on, but they don't give you a whole lot of line here, so you don't have a whole lot of options on where to put it at. So it's kind of just gonna have to go close to this side. So I figure I'll just do something like this for now, and then if I want to figure out something different later, I'll go from there. Now we're gonna go ahead and kind of tuck all these wires in here, keep them out of the way so they don't get yanked on, pulled on, anything like that. And then we've also got our data link cable, and we're just gonna roll it up as well and stick it in there. All right, so we got everything put back in place, got the kick plate back on, got the dash put back together. There's the tuner. Got the batteries hooked back up. So we're gonna see what this thing does. I'm gonna start it up here. Looks like it's on number 2. I gotta wait to start. I'm gonna put it down to 1. 1 is stock. All right, 1 is stock. 2 is supposed to be idle up. That seems to work. It's supposed to be 1200 RPM idle up for when it's cold. Put it back down to 1. Alright, not so bad. Alright, let's go ahead and take it for a drive and see how it does. Get out on the main road before I go all the way to 6. All right, we're gonna go out here on the main road, crank it up to number 6. Kind of see what 6 does out here. basically is all it did was sound like a lope tune that was dumping fuel. So that's pretty much it for the install on it. Not too bad. Seems to work okay. I appreciate you guys for watching, and go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe. Have a good one.